Buying industrial fans from China safely is not about finding a supplier who looks convincing. It is about building a chain of evidence that survives from the first drawing to the loaded shipment. A polished website, a low quotation, a factory video, or a certificate can each be useful, but none of them closes the whole risk. The practical method is to turn every promise into a named document, a measurable acceptance rule, and a verification point before money or goods move. Start by verifying who is actually offering the product. Match the quotation, contract, bank beneficiary, invoice, business registration, factory address, and the legal entity named on relevant certificates. Then separate the factory, trading company, brand owner, and payment recipient. They may be related, but they are not automatically the same party. If a platform profile or audit exists, treat it as one data point and confirm its date, scope, author, and exact entity. Next, freeze the requirement before asking for the final price. A fan for an air handling unit is not a specification. Define the required airflow and pressure at the intended density, duty cycle, supply, control interface, environment, sound criterion, mounting envelope, inlet and outlet conditions, and the performance evidence you expect. If the operating point is missing, suppliers can quote different products that all look compliant on a one-line comparison. Turn that requirement into a controlled technical package. Use a numbered specification, approved drawing, bill of materials or critical component list where appropriate, connector and cable definition, labeling rule, packaging standard, and revision history. Mark every item as mandatory, preferred, or informative. When a supplier proposes a deviation, record it openly and resolve it before the purchase order. Silence is not acceptance, and a change drawing should never hide inside an email thread. Now qualify the sample without pretending the sample is the shipment. Record the sample model, revision, serial or batch identity where available, test setup, instruments, conditions, results, photos, and approved exceptions. Keep one approved reference unit or a clearly controlled evidence set as the golden sample. The purpose is not to prove future production automatically. It is to create a comparison baseline that production, inspection, and dispute resolution can all understand. Build the purchase order around evidence milestones. A practical structure may link an initial payment to the signed specification and order confirmation, a production milestone to agreed progress evidence, and the final release to inspection and shipping documents. The exact payment method and percentages depend on the relationship, order size, jurisdiction, and risk allocation. No method is universally safe. The control comes from clear contract terms, verified beneficiaries, limited exposure, and evidence before release. During production, control changes, not just dates. Ask what model and revision is being built, which critical materials or components have changed, what the current quantity is, and what evidence supports the update. Photographs and live calls can confirm visible progress, but they do not establish hidden construction or performance. For higher risk orders, use an agreed inspection plan or an independent inspector with access, sampling rules, and acceptance criteria written in advance. Inspection should answer pre-written questions. Is the product identity correct? Do dimensions, wiring, controls, rotation, labels, workmanship, and packaging match the approved package? Does a defined sample of units complete the agreed functional or performance checks under stated conditions? The Longwell footage shown here is real inspection and motor QC process context. It demonstrates actions and instruments, not a guarantee that every unit, batch, or factory follows the same scope or passes. Treat certification as a scope matching exercise, not a logo hunt. Check the issuing or testing body, document number, status, standard and edition, applicant and manufacturer, exact model or covered family, report relationship, and any conditions or exclusions. Then ask whether the destination, application, finished assembly, and installation need additional evidence. A certificate for a component or tested sample does not automatically certify a different model or the buyer's completed system. Before loading, close the shipping evidence pack. Reconcile the commercial invoice, packing list, product and carton quantities, net and gross weights where required, marks, dimensions, packaging method, photos, inspection disposition, and approved shipping instructions. Record any rework and its re-inspection. For destination rules, customs classification, tariffs, sanctions, insurance, import licensing, and Incoterms interpretation, use qualified professionals for the actual route and transaction rather than relying on a generic checklist. The safest workflow is therefore a sequence of controlled handoffs: verify the entity, freeze the engineering requirement, approve a traceable sample, contract the evidence milestones, monitor changes, inspect against written criteria, validate document scope, and reconcile the shipment before release. Each gate should have an owner, a required artifact, an acceptance rule, and a stop condition. If one link is ambiguous, pause there. Do not let urgency push the uncertainty downstream. Buying fans from China safely does not require distrusting a country or believing every supplier is risky. It requires the same disciplined procurement system you would use anywhere when distance, customization, and shipment value increase the cost of a mistake. Complete that system before choosing on price. If you want a technical quotation that can be audited, send Longwell your operating point, interface, environment, drawing constraints, quantity, destination, and required evidence package. We can review the specification gaps before a model is proposed.